3 days of darkness, the lost prophecies that are being fulfilled. Did you know there exists an ancient prophecy that predicts 3 days of total darkness over the earth? And that specific signs of this prophecy are happening right now, before our very eyes. What you're about to discover may completely change your perspective on the times we're living in. Stay until the end of this video, because I'm going to reveal not only the shocking details of this ancient prediction, but also how you can prepare for what's coming. The lost sources. The prophecy of the 3 days of darkness doesn't appear in just one religious tradition. It emerges almost identically from 12th century Christian manuscripts, ancient Hindu texts, Mayan prophecies, and even visions reported by Catholic mystics from recent centuries. This should make us question, how did cultures completely separated in time and space reach the same conclusions about this catastrophic event? The most well-known of these prophecies comes from Saint and Catherine Taigi, an Italian mystic from the 19th century, who received extremely detailed visions about these 3 days. But what few know is that much older texts, some dating back more than 2,000 years, already described this same phenomenon with frightening precision, a universal pattern. What makes this prophecy even more intriguing is the consistency of details between different sources. All speak of a supernatural darkness that cannot be dispelled by any artificial light source, except blessed candles. All mention that only 1/3 of humanity will survive, and all agree that this event will mark a global purification before a new era of peace. First sign, the weakening magnetic field. Have you noticed how extreme weather phenomena are intensifying? I'm not just talking about conventional climate change. I'm referring to something much deeper and more alarming. Modern science confirms that Earth's magnetic field is weakening at an unprecedented rate. In some regions, this decrease has reached 10% in the last decade. Ancient prophecies mentioned that before the 3 days of darkness, there would be signs in the sky and disturbances in the air. Earth's magnetic field is precisely what protects us from deadly solar radiation. When it weakens dramatically, our atmosphere becomes vulnerable to coronal mass ejections that could literally plunge the planet into darkness for days. Second sign, anomalous solar activity. Scientists are perplexed by the sun's current behavior. We're experiencing both extremely intense solar storms and unusual periods of solar quiet. This erratic pattern is exactly what some prophecies described as the harbinger of the Great Darkness. In 1859, the Carrington event showed what a massive solar storm can do. Telegraph systems failed globally, auroras were seen in the Caribbean, and telegraph lines operated without electrical power. Now imagine this amplified 1,000 times, with our current dependence on technology. Third sign, accelerated geological changes. Have you noticed the dramatic increase in seismic and volcanic activity around the world? What the media isn't connecting is that this pattern corresponds exactly to prophetic descriptions of Earth's convulsions before the period of darkness. The Pacific Ring of Fire is more active than ever. Volcanoes that have been dormant for centuries are awakening simultaneously. This isn't coincidence. It's a planetary system responding to forces we don't yet fully understand. The supernatural nature of darkness. What differentiates this prophecy from common apocalyptic predictions is the specificity of its details. The darkness described isn't simply absence of sunlight. It's something much deeper and more disturbing. According to the visions of Saint and Catherine Taigi and other mystics, during these 3 days, no artificial light source will work, except candles made from beeswax and blessed. Flashlights, generators, batteries, none of this will work. The very nature of light will be altered supernaturally. Even more frightening, the prophecies state that demonic creatures will roam the earth during these days, and that those who dare to leave their homes or even look out the windows will not survive. The only protection would be to stay home. with windows covered, praying continuously. The poisonous air phenomenon. The prophecies also describe that the air itself will become toxic during these 3 days. This isn't just about pollution, but a chemical transformation of the atmosphere that will make it impossible to breathe outside without divine protection. This may seem fantastical, but modern science shows us that a sufficiently powerful coronal mass ejection could theoretically alter the chemical composition of our atmosphere, creating a toxic fog that would envelop the entire planet. The demographic consequences. Perhaps the most shocking aspect of these prophecies is the consistent assertion that only 1/3 of the world's population will survive the 3 days of darkness. We're talking about an event that would reduce humanity from 8 billion to approximately 2.7 billion people. How would this be possible? The prophecies suggest that many will die from fear, others from trying to go out during the darkness, and a large portion will simply give up their souls during this period of intense spiritual trial. Why now? Here's what will really make you uneasy. Multiple prophetic lines from different traditions converge on our current era. I'm not talking about vague interpretations that can be applied to any historical period. I'm referring to specific and measurable signs that are only now manifesting simultaneously. First, we have the restoration of Israel as a nation in 1948, which many prophecies cited as a temporal landmark. Second, current technology allows us, for the first time in history, to have an instant global civilizational collapse through dependence on electronic systems. Third, our ability to monitor solar and magnetic activity allows us to identify the exact conditions described in the prophecies. The critical time window. Based on astronomical cycles and current conditions of Earth's magnetic field, there exists a specific time window in the coming years where conditions for the 3 days of darkness would be scientifically aligned. The next solar maximum is predicted for 2025 to 2026, coinciding with the acceleration of magnetic weakening. If the prophecies are correct, this would be the most likely period for the event to manifest. The unpredictable factor. But there's something that makes this situation even more complex. The prophecies state that the exact timing will be determined by humanity's spiritual state. The greater the moral decay, the closer the event becomes. And looking around us today, it's hard to argue that we're in a period of great global spiritual elevation, material preparation. If you're taking this seriously, and you should be, there are specific preparations that the prophecies recommend. First, stock drinking water for at least 1 week. The darkness will last 3 days, but side effects may extend longer. Second, ensure you have blessed beeswax candles. The prophecies are very specific about this. Synthetic or unblessed candles simply won't work during the event. Third, keep non-perishable food sufficient for your family for at least 2 weeks. Remember that distribution systems will collapse completely, and recovery may take time. Spiritual preparation. But material preparation is only part of the equation. The prophecies emphasize that spiritual preparation is even more crucial. Those who survive won't necessarily be the best prepared materially, but the most prepared spiritually. This means cultivating a life of prayer, genuine repentance for past errors, and a deep connection with the divine. The prophecies suggest that during the 3 days, protection will come primarily through faith and continuous prayer. Emergency protocol. The prophetic instructions are clear about what to do if you realize the 3 days have begun. Get inside immediately. Cover all windows, light your blessed candles, and don't go out or look outside under any circumstances. Gather your family and maintain constant prayer until natural light returns. The new era. The most hopeful aspect of these prophecies is what they describe after the 3 days of darkness. It's not just about survival, but complete transformation of the human condition. The visions speak of a total renewal of Earth, where nature will be restored to a pristine state. Technology will be simplified but perfected. Humanity will live in genuine harmony. free from the struggles and conflicts that characterize our current era. More importantly still, there will be a collective spiritual elevation. Those who survive the 3 days will have a direct and constant connection with the divine. It will literally be a new chapter in humanity's spiritual evolution. The survivors, the prophecies describe that those who go through this experience will no longer be the same. They will have expanded capabilities, increased longevity, and wisdom that transcends everything we currently know. This isn't escapist fantasy. It's the promise of real transformation that justifies the suffering of the transition period. We're talking about the possibility of becoming the most elevated version of the human species. The choice is yours. So where does this leave us? You can choose to ignore this information, treat it as superstition or fiction, or you can recognize that we're living in unique times in human history, where ancient prophecies are converging with modern scientific evidence in a way that has never happened before. The question isn't whether you believe or not. The question is whether you're willing to prepare for the possibility that these millennial predictions are correct. The cost of ignoring could be catastrophic. The cost of preparing is minimal compared to the potential benefit. Your journey begins now. If this video resonated with you, if something inside you recognized the truth in these words, then your preparation journey needs to begin immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week now. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications, because I'll be sharing vital information about spiritual and material preparation for the times that are coming. Leave a like if you recognize the critical importance of this message. It helps the algorithm take this information to other people who need to hear it. And most importantly, share this video with those you love, because in the end, when the 3 days of darkness come, and they will come, the only thing that will really matter is whether you and your family were prepared. Time is running out. The choice is yours. But remember, when darkness falls, there will be no second chance to prepare.